the title of
colleague.
this?
Why? What's the new title?
It doesn't have anything with me about me in there.
You're a friend from my work.
Okay.
Well, SAR's doing Michael Dean's job today. So SAR, baby, will you put a title, because we're joined by you don't have the StreamYard app? You can't get on the app?
No. I can only chat in the chat.
So what was your plan? You were just gonna yell and just hope things happen? Okay. SAR says hello to everybody.
These are the comments.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, so I cannot believe you guys are here. I was prepared to go it alone. I was going to throw, Jerry, you have to understand, I throw like very heavy guilt at your daughter. I'm like, I'll just do the show by myself. Don't worry. It might go so bad, might yell some obscenities, canceled on YouTube. But, have fun. Enjoy your family.
It's hard to be canceled on YouTube.
That's true.
Well, yeah, I've heard, and I would actually be interested. A lot of YouTubers have complained about being shadow banned, which is like you can still post your streams and post content, but it's not going out to as many people as it used to. And I have friends that have said that they've been shadow banned, and there is some proof to that. What is the legalities of isn't it totally legal for YouTube to be like, this is our platform, but we can decide what kind of content that we want on here, even if we don't agree with what you're saying?
Let me guess. It's because it's a private company. The First Amendment doesn't apply, and they can kick off whoever they want.
Yes.
Oh, so could YouTube kick me off for something it's kind of benign as saying, I don't believe capitalism works. I believe we should be a socialist country. If the owner of YouTube, the CEO of YouTube, did not believe in that, wouldn't they be infringing upon my First Amendment rights to have that feeling?
The infringement that's prohibited is by the state. So private companies can prohibit what they want to prohibit.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The capitalist captain of YouTube could say that.
It only stops the government from infringing on your speech. YouTube can do whatever they want.
Yes. Now, if it were a public utility that was licensed by the government, there might be more constraints. But for a private operation like YouTube, no, they're free to do that.
So like PBS, I could say that.
Possibly.
Okay.
That's possible. Right.
It's interesting, because I believe a lot of people on the left, whether they admit it or not, are having a mini love fest with MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I just watched her go on a rant about Sesame Street while watching John Oliver. And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's interesting that human beings are so quick to forgive, even though you have years.
Yeah. She yelled at the Parkland kids. She yelled at the kids that had just been shot at and lost some of their friends. So she's not an A+ person, in my opinion.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine like locating the Parkland kids and being like, I'm going to find him and give him a piece of my mind?
Right. Yes, I understand. She's not an engaging type.
For some, she is.
Yes. Well.
She's made $25 million in Congress.
What?
Now, yeah. Did you see that? Yes, she in 4 years, I believe, Tory, she entered in 2021. First of all, what's up, colleagues? Thank y'all for joining us. We were very worried that no one would know the show is going to happen, and then my girlfriend was like, "Well, if you send an alert that the show's going out, more people will know." And I was like, "Well, let's send it out 3 minutes and 30 seconds before we go live." And so people are trickling in, but I'm really happy that you guys are all here, and I'm happy you two are here. My question, I guess, I didn't mean to go on a Marjorie Taylor Greene rant, but
right, it seems so appropriate for for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she made $25 million. Do you think she'll be investigated? Should there be what's predicted a blue tsunami? Do you think that could she, even though now she's no longer in Congress, be called back into Congress and be like, hey, how did you make all this money? That's very interesting.
You're saying she made it personally as opposed to political contributions?
Correct. Yep.
Well, yes. Somebody can investigate that. Yes. Now, whether it's going to be Congress or a Democratic district attorney or a U.S. attorney
or Donald Trump, he's not for her, and he could put the DOJ on her.
Yeah, but I don't think he will. But not to be, possible. Everything's possible with him. or
Okay.
anything's possible with him. Yes.
Well, I do want to take this conversation about some of the most vile human beings on the planet, put them on the shelf, and talk about two of my favorite human beings, y'all two. What are the plans for Thanksgiving? Talk to us.
Well, I got in right in time because, as you guys know, there's been a shooting in DC at around 17th and H, and
Tori,
that's
can
right
you
by
walk
my.
us through just like how you found out and like
Yeah,
what's going on?
my dad picked me up. I couldn't have gotten off the airplane easier. Got off, got my bags. He was right there. We were like, this has been fabulous. We drive home past the monument. We drive home past Lincoln Memorial, Kennedy Center, right to my house. And when we get in, we hear from my dad's brother, my Uncle Mike, two National Guardsmen have been shot and are dead. At first, we heard they were dead. Now we're hearing they're in critical condition and that a shooter is in custody and severely wounded. And now Trump has decided, instead of a DC judge saying that the National Guardsmen were unconstitutional or illegal, they were about to leave. He's now going to send in 500 more National Guardsmen to DC, which is a very blue district and very much against. Do you remember Subway, the man who hit the FBI
He
agent
threw
who
the
hit?
sandwich. He threw the
He threw a
sandy.
sandwich. He threw a sandy and he was found not guilty of felony assault with a sandwich.
And misdemeanors.
Or a misdemeanor, that's right. But yeah, this is very serious. Both the guardsmen were from West Virginia. We're obviously hoping that they're okay in the long run, but the governor said that they had died and then retracted his steps and said they are conflicting opinions, and now it's critical condition for both of them. So DC is blocked off in a lot of ways downtown, and the airport came to a full ground halt. So I somehow managed to get off okay, but
Well, they let people land, but they didn't let anyone
would
take off.
right? Yeah.
Because, among other reasons, helicopters were circling Washington, D.C. in case
Right.
there were additional suspects.
Right. And they're going to be looking into this as a terrorist, not only as a DC investigation, but also as a terrorist because you're against, law enforcement and you're blocks from the White House.
And these were National Guardsmen, so they're national officials in this
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah.
Tori, if only I had a phrase that involved dogs that explained how I feel about this situation. Tori, do you know what that phrase might be?
I thought it was going to be about a bridge. Okay, about dogs. Oh,
Something about what that dog doesn't do something.
he doesn't.
How do you not know this, Tori?
He doesn't sleep or he poops.
That dog don't hunt. Jerry, I am not a conspiracy theorist, but
Yes.
the way that we got the troops into DC was a super sus 3 a.m. Sunday morning carjacking by the most notable 19-year-old Doge employee who went by Big Balls, who
Yes.
was attacked by 10 people. And now why he was out at 3 a.m. at 19 years old, can't go to bars. I always just thought that was very strange. Don't forget the photo was taken at 3 a.m. by another Doge employee. What were they doing out? And now all of a sudden
That's
we were
when they
allowed
hunt.
right. That's that, I guess so. So now that random, like, first of all, if we just want to get into statistics, what is the statistical chances that
That you
young
can say
man,
that word right?
I know, well, you see, I only said it once. Sounds like I'm blowing past it like a Japanese bullet train. We're going right past. I'm not saying statistical again. It's just like I don't think it's supposed to roll off the tongue.
I knew
But
it.
I don't think that was very plausible. And now, after we get this ruling that a judge says, hey, you got to get those troops out of here, now we have another random attack. It just seems very, very sus. After the Charlie Kirk thing seemed very sus with that weird note that the FBI tried to circulate between the alleged shooter and his alleged trans lover that then just disappeared because no one believed it. It just seems, I wish I could believe the things that are coming out of the government, but I just don't. Am I what do they say when you hear hooves, think horses, not
Right.
zebras?
Wait,
Yes.
before you answer, everyone in the chat, write sus or not if you think this and agree with Al that this is really suspect. I just want to get a temperature check on where our chat, our watchers, our viewers, our listeners are. Okay.
I'm really curious about that. But yes, I'm actually, Tori, I'm hoping that your dad can talk, but it just seems like everything is just so weirdly conspiratorial. The Erica Kirk thing just seems weird. It just seems weird. And so talk to me, because I am a scientist. I do want to lean towards logic.
Well, unless it turns out that the shooter was a member of the Republican National Committee, I don't think this was a suspect shooting in that regard. I don't think it was a conspiracy. There are unfortunately very sick people out there who,
Very true.
and I think this guy just walked around the corner and fired.
Yeah, they said he had a handgun and immediately shot at them, and a third guardsman shot back. But I know what you're saying, Al. It's odd, and I just want to ask you this. All of a sudden, a judge says we can't have National Guardsmen in our district, and now we get to send 500 more. Now, again, we want those
Well,
2 guardsmen to be okay. I don't want to be condoning or laughing or moving on too quickly about that. But it's
Right.
odd that now we get 500
well,
more.
hold on. The president said he recommended that 500 more come in. He did not order them into the door. A lot of things can happen between what he says and what happens.
Okay.
So don't assume they're going to be knocking on the door anytime soon.
I'm just going to take a look and see what you guys said about sus. Oh, Lucy sus, ELC is sus, Carol is sus, Kia Boo, hi Kia, is sus. Okay, so a lot of susses. Okay.
It just, and I don't think that this was for as many. I don't think all of our colleagues were just, waving the American flag when the Biden administration was in. There was a lot of things that administration did that was very unpopular, but I don't think a lot of people were like, I think this might be a false flag. And it just seems like there have been a lot of things. I mean, it was very strange that, Trump was down double digit to Kamala Harris. Then there was an assassination attempt that looked very interesting from different camera angles, including like a moving flag that was right there for that picture. Did you remember the picture of him with his fist up with the flag was on a crane. It was moving during a shooting, the crane operator. Why would that be happening? And then you get that upward angle of him getting into the limo.
Okay, now I hear you, but okay, I don't want you to go.
And also his ear looks fine.
I know. Time magazine put that ear right up close on that picture that I think was really interesting.
Have you ever heard people talk about the rifle that was shot? Like, that's the kind of rifle that people use to put down large wildlife in one shot. Like, that's the kind of thing that if it did hit your ear, you saw the bite that Evander Holyfield took. That was human teeth. And Mike Tyson's, Evander Holyfield's ear is still disfigured. Trump has nothing.
Good plastic surgery will do it all the time.
I hope so.
Sometimes the rifle shot was just a little bit too far off to do much damage. It drew some blood, but doesn't have to have done a whole lot of damage.
You think that?
Yeah, I don't think that he would have taken the chance of the shooter being off.
No, but what if it was like not real blood? Like, I don't agree. I think it was an accident.
People were saying it was a blood packet.
Okay, well, there was a rifle that really got shot in his direction, and somebody else got killed. So I don't think that he would have gone that far, but that just may be me.
That's fair.
I
also don't think he's that good of an actor. But yeah, that's fair.
Oh, I think he's a terrific actor, frankly.
You think so?
Yeah,
he was good in Home Alone too.
Yeah.
Did you see people are giving ratings now about how bad? Yeah, lend me your ear. That's funny. Uncle Mike should be on the show too. That's right. So yeah, let's see what people are writing. I just want to see what people are saying. I think it was Stage says Slapshot. Jerry makes a very good point. He always does. I still think
that's why I'm always open. I'm never sure it's like this is what happened. I'm always just camp sus. I'm not camp like this definitely happened. I'm like,
right. Okay.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. So Lucy says, Jerry, do you think he's trying to create chaos to stay in office? And may I add, Lucy, to get away again from the bad polling and the Epstein files?
To stay in office? No. To divert attention? Perhaps.
Okay.
And maybe keep these troops in these cities long, as these elections are coming up. Because I think that obviously we're predicting a blue tsunami. I'm sure they're aware of their polling numbers, and they know that they'll be wiped out. And should the Democrats take power, here come the investigations, here come the Senate inquiries. I don't know if they would want to risk that happening. So I think them
By the way,
finding a way to stave this off.
When is it a blue tsunami? I thought it was a blue wave. Have we?
Tsunami is a big wave.
I know, but is that just an Al thing? Like, should I be saying that now?
No, well, I think a blue tsunami is when you wipe them out. Like a wave is like, I got hit with a big wave when I was surfing, and that's bad. You're like, tell me the story. But if somebody says I was in a tsunami, you're famous. That's the difference. Like, I think that's, and by the way, I'll just admit this to you guys, we were family. I probably went at least 40 years into my life before I realized that a tsunami and a tidal wave were the same thing. I had no, I thought a tsunami is like, it sounds way worse. It sounds
What do you
cooler.
think it was?
I thought it's an, I don't know. I thought, I don't know. I
You
didn't,
don't.
I
You
didn't,
do.
I
You
didn't
just
think they
don't want
had
to say.
any, I don't really think I ever thought about it. I just like, it's weird because when you grow up, there are phrases like you hear about tidal waves and you hear a lot about quicksand, and then those things just go away. These kind of, I was like worried about quicksand my whole life in Cleveland,
I was
Ohio.
too.
There,
I
and
worried a
like
lot
I would,
about how to
yeah,
get out of. Yeah, how do you get
yes,
out of quicksand was like very important.
Not that way.
No, but you wiggle horizontal. I mean, like we all know, right?
yes. All right. Well, all right. Well, let's get into this because
Get
obviously
control.
it is family time, and I wanted to ask you guys this because I don't know how you guys roll. I've seen you guys, obviously, you guys cruise on vacation, but there was a Florida family that was adrift at sea and rescued after 20 hours. Tortor, did you see this?
No.
No.
Yes. Okay.
20 hours.
They
That's not horrible.
well when you
If you're the
listen to
family, it
the
is.
yeah, when you listen to the demo of the family, I will okay. A family of four is seriously counting their lucky stars after spending 20 terrifying hours stranded off the coast of Florida. There are pics and everything. Here it was a 3-generation family, Tori. So there was Dennis Woods, who was 70,
Oh my
A
god.
youngster.
his uncle, who was 90,
Oh
and the youngsters were Chris Harding Sr., who was 42, and Chris Harding Jr., I'm assuming his son, that was
yeah, good
18.
one.
Yes, nothing. That's why people watch the show. All right, I put things together for the people.
You connect those dots.
Very astute.
Very
all
astute.
the comments are like, "Thank you, Al." All right, it says that they were
But
seen
how
desperately
old was
waving.
Junior? How
Junior
old
was
is
18.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's like a 4-generation photo for real.
Oh my god.
It
Were
says
they
that
taking
they
shots of
were
each other?
well, they couldn't because their catamaran flipped and they were standing on it
Oh,
in the
dear.
middle of the Atlantic Ocean,
So
and they were luckily seen by the Coast Guard. But you know, there's pictures. I mean, this boat is flipped, and I think we need to talk about the name of the boat.
wait, let me guess. Let me guess. Let me guess. Always steady.
That would have been good. I kind of like this one, Jerry. If you had a boat, what would you name it?
Oh, didn't you have there was a boat those partners owned?
Yes.
Was it defamation?
Confrontation.
Confrontation.
I would be
There's two
so
litigators. So what are you
intimidated.
going to say?
Yeah, confrontation.
I love it. Well, this one was named "Money Well Wasted,"
Appropriate.
which is kind of funny until you're reading that upside down because your boat is flipped. Why are you on a catamaran with a 90-year-old? And Tori, this is what I've always said about, like, I have friends, they go hiking and beautiful views. My
Al
girlfriend
doesn't like to be
goes,
outside.
it's not out. Yes, I don't like to be outside that much. I just don't like to be anywhere where I don't have a skill set that applies.
So
And
what's your
I
skill
can't,
set? Making people laugh?
in the city, I'm awesome. Any major city, I'll show you where to party. I'll show you where to get a good deal. We'll get some good
What
food.
about camping? You went camping that one time.
We went camping, and your daughter fell apart as I did because we're two city kids that have no business anywhere. We had no. Jeff's
were
there like
miserable.
digging holes and fighting snakes. I'm like, the ground is cold. Why are we
freezing.
here? There's no
I
cell
called
service.
No, I called Patty to get out of there at 3 a.m. because I had a severe sinus infection, and they were like, "How was your morning?"
Any excuse.
No, I really did, and they were like, "How's your morning?" And I was like, everyone's like, "Great, great," and then I was just like, "I hate it here."
Yeah, I just don't think. I think some people are just outdoors people. We had dinner last night with some friends. We did a fondue dinner last night, very fun.
Oh, you
And
had
my friend
fondue.
Jesse, who owns an awesome comedy club in Boulder called Comic Sense. If you're in the area, go check it out. He's awesome as a person and a comic and a club owner. But he's from Carbondale, Colorado, and it's very mountainy and all that kind of. He likes sleeping out. They'll just get a tent and sleep on the ground, and that is crazy.
How do you feel about camping?
Glamping seems fine. I'm not a big camper, although I'm better than my daughters.
Okay, that's true. Uncle Mike, do you mind being on? This is Jerry's brother, Uncle Mike. I just want to say, do you like to camp?
Once upon a time, I did.
Oh, did you really?
Hey,
At Lewiston.
Okay.
Even before that,
Oh,
it was Boy Scouts.
Scouts.
boys. Oh, yeah, he was the youngest Eagle Scout, right? Remember that?
Mecklenburg County, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right.
And I got none of it. I've got none of the skill.
yeah, it just I think it's probably, first of all, what's up, brother Mike? We have a new colleague in the building. I've never seen the brothers hanging out together. First of all, I feel so bad because I feel like I'm interrupting family time. I feel really bad right now. Okay, all right, I'm gonna let you go in a second. We'll do one more story and then we're gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of your time. All right, Tory, let's do one fun thing. Well, this is a question. Yes, I wanted to do one fun thing, but I can't find any, so we'll just do this one. Caroline Levitt's nephew was arrested by ICE.
No,
Did you see this story?
Okay, it's Levitt's mother's
Nephew's mom.
nephew.
Yes.
No.
The nephew's mother.
I thought it was Carolyn Levitt's mom's nephew.
That's what I heard as well.
It's
Been taken
Caroline
by ICE.
Levitt's nephew's mom.
Which I would have made it her cousin, but I could.
Yeah, but I don't get
or
it.
His
Maybe-
cousin once removed.
Maybe it's a step. I don't know either, but
He's right.
yeah. Okay, he's right. Okay,
Of course
Uncle
I'm
Mike
right.
says you're right. What do you think about What do you think will happen? First of all, he'll easily be dismissed, right?
One doesn't know.
I don't
Equal
think
justice
so.
to all, for all, and to
Well,
all.
that's what she says. As I'll read the last sentence, it says the DHS spokesperson goes on to say, under President Trump and Secretary Kristi Noem, all individuals unlawfully present in the United States are subject to deportation. And like, what's up with a little bit of, you can't make a phone call and get your boy out? Like, come on, that's the whole point of being in power.
Yeah, Levitt or leave it. You got to leave this one. You got to leave it.
That could be her show on HGTV. All right, Tory, I'm gonna let you go. Tell us what do you guys got up for the rest of this weekend?
We are going to have a Thanksgiving catered, which is going to be so much easier for everybody. And we're going to have my Uncle Mike and my cousins in, and we're going to be surrounded by unconditional love, which, as you guys know, I really, really need right now. And I hope to give it back. And for all of you out there having Thanksgiving alone, with dogs, with a ton of people, I hope that you are surrounded by love and light. And if no one's there, you're surrounded by our love and light, Al and Uncle Mike's and Jer.
Tory, don't speak for my love and light. I'll decide.
Sorry, that was
And SARS.
and SARS.
And SARS. That's right. Yes. You guys enjoy your family. Enjoy this time. So great to see all three of your faces. I love you guys. And Tory, I'll see you soon. I'll pick you up from the airport if you need it.
Okay, love you too, honey.
Take care, Al.
Bye, guys.
All right,
Bye,
girl.
colleagues.
Bye, guys.
That's so cute.
All right,
I got trapped into the last one.
colleagues, are we here? There we go. All right. Shout out to Tory and the Showmans, which sounds like a 50s doo-wop group that I probably would have to listen to from another room. I do, and I've said this before, colleagues, I'm really proud of Tory. It was really touch and go for a while with my girl, but she's just a tough chick. And that's why I love her. I like tough women. I grew up and was raised by a strong woman. So even though Tory is very vulnerable, she's strong, and she didn't, she went through a lot in college. She went through a lot while we were doing DBL. And I'm just really proud of her, and just seeing her with Jerry, and kind of, I don't know if the colleagues have noticed, and I wonder if Tory has as well. Her relationship with Jerry is different. She used to speak lovingly about Jerry, but she would talk about him like how great this guy, my dad, is. And now when I see them interact, they're interacting a lot more as friends. And I think what we're seeing is the formation of a new relationship. When somebody that has like the gravitational pull that her mom did of just the sun. Her mom was this loud, loving, funny, personable, warm person. And so all eyes were on her, including, I think, Tory and Jerry's. And then once that sun dimmed a little bit, I think they looked at each other and be like, do you want to be friends? And Tori's a lot more relaxed with her dad. I remember her dad would come into town and she'd be like, I don't know what to do with Jerry. And it was like the same kind of thing that you guys would say if you were like, my in-laws are in town, but my husband's out of town or my partner's out of town. I don't know what food they like. I don't know where to take them. It was kind of that distancing where it's not, obviously there's love there, but just like I don't know them that well. And so to see them kind of come together as father-daughter, that is the goal. My girlfriend Sarah is going to write down some unpopular opinions, but in the meantime, I want to talk about some more kind of stuff that's on my mind, and then we'll get into some fun Thanksgiving stuff before we go. We were supposed to have started Thanksgiving dinner. We've done nothing. We've done nothing. It's in the refrigerator right now. And I was pretty proud of myself. I was just like, I texted my girl. I was like, oh, I went shopping. I sent her a picture of it. And thank God I did, because yesterday she knows her boyfriend. And she just goes, are you at home right now? And we were supposed to be at Dude.DK Studios. I was just proud that I went shopping and I got everything. But what I did get is I got recipes from my mama. We're going to be making my grandmother, Marcella, whose name's on my arm. We're going to be making her mac and cheese. We're also going to make some Cajun mac and cheese. Shout out. And we are going to go against the grain. We're making black eyed peas. That's right. We're gonna do it. And at least we'll let this be a test run for New Year's Eve. But black eyed peas is something that I've always wanted to be able to make. And I think I tried one time in college, but I didn't know you're supposed to soak them overnight. So they were hard as F. And I never had them again for like another 20 years. So we're going to try it again. So I am excited about that. My girlfriend was supposed to go pick up some challah bread while I did the podcast, but instead she's sitting here. Is she helping? Yes. But what she's really doing is she wants me to drive. And so she was like, well, I could just wait and you could drive. I was like, I think that's what we're probably going to be doing. So we're going to get some challah bread, and we will send you guys updated photos about what's going on. This is my first kind of holiday cooking, so I'm a little nervous, but I love to cook, so I'm expecting good things. Question for you guys that I saw posed on the internet, and I wanted to throw it at you guys. Where are the Proud Boys? Remember that? Remember them? Remember they were at every protest? They were at every insurrection march in Charlottesville. They're Proud Boys. When was the last time you saw one? And it got me to thinking, I think now that ICE is masked up, I think they took off the Hawaiian, what do you call it, parrot head shirts, and I think they switched those out for ski masks. I saw that they've already caught somebody that's been credibly accused and convicted of being a child predator, masquerading as an ICE agent, and they've arrested him again. And is it one of those things where it's the tip of the iceberg, where if you catch one, how many are right underneath the surface? What's been allowed to go on this year, I'm hoping will be something that we look back at in a time capsule and my kids can shake their head and say, how did that ever happen? Because it's very normalized to us right now. But right now, they're just citizens that did not. When we talk about police, even police brutality, you guys know how I feel about that. There is some accountability, even if they're exonerated, which sucks. There at least is a trial. There are names, faces, badge numbers. There's body cameras. There's protocol for what departments do should they be found liable of negligence in terms of how they deal with the public, how they deal with detainees. There's nothing for these guys. They're not trained. All they're told is like, hey, we'll give you 50 grand if you're down to go out there and kick some ass. What kind of bottom of the barrel pool would you be pulling from? Does anybody on this thread know any ICE agents? I bet you know some cops, because those are citizens. Those are citizens that we've deputized and given an incredible power, the power to take life should it mean saving other lives. And with great power comes great responsibility. But it seems like in this case, we've abdicated the responsibility and just been like, hey, were you unable to join the police department for any battery of reasons? Don't worry. Here's your second chance. You'll get more money and less accountability. So you can just go do whatever you want. I think we all saw that video of that ICE agent that was detained. He was driving drunk with his kid. Do you remember this? And it shows you the mentality of the people that sign up for ICE, because it was in Florida and he was arrested by a black cop and a white cop. And this man who is blackout drunk with his kid in the car, driving the wrong way, who, when they asked where he thought he was, the place he named, he was 100 miles away from there. He was that intoxicated. He turns to the black officer and goes, "Are you Haitian? You shouldn't even be here." Even when you're about to get a Dewey, when you're drunk and driving the wrong way, you still are like, what's up with these black people? What's up with these immigrants? And I don't think that that's by mistake. I think anybody on this thread would love to help out in their community. These are people that are not interested in helping out their community. These are people that were specifically picked to do a specific job. And I think all of these interesting things, I do love Jerry's ability to be reasonable and rational with this Trump stuff, but it just seems like there's so many weird coincidences in which he is interlinked and he is intertwined, and people that are in his orbit come in and out, and there's a carjacking, there's an attempted shooting, there's always something that requires them to break the law in order to protect its citizens, air quotes. And that's one of the hallmarks, one of the bellwethers of fascism, is they say, we're doing this for you guys. Yeah, we it's martial law, but it's because there are wild criminals out there. That's why you're locked in your house. They can never just say, we're doing this because we want to control you. They're doing this right out in the open. And what I think they're starting to run into more and more is that not only is everything filmed, but you have a populace that's a lot more educated about propaganda, about red flag, false flags, and about people's unquenched thirst for power and the things that they'll go to obtain it. And I think that's sadly what we're looking at. I encourage anybody, if you have any questions about the assassination that I'm referring to, if you go to sorry, who's the black woman? Angela. She's a comic, and Amanda Seals. Go to Amanda Seals' Instagram and type in Trump assassination and just look at it, and you'll see it's there's a lot going on. But I want to talk about the good things going on. First of all, had some dope fondue last night. That must be said. I am just coming around to fondue and to a lesser extent like hibachi. I don't know about y'all, but I just don't like to go somewhere where now it's time for me to cook. That always kind of like messed the deal up for me, because a lot of those places where you do, Korean barbecue, shout out, it's great. I went to Korean barbecue in Korea. It's amazing. But I'm like, it kind of goes back to the whole nature thing. I don't know when something's done. You're giving me a bucket of raw meat. And now what if I get that on my hands? I don't know I didn't go through OSHA safety protocols. What do I know? All I know how to do is sit there and order. So at first, fondue was never going to happen. And also, whatever you have planned that day, take it, ball it up, and kick it. You're not doing nothing but fondue. Fondue takes forever. Fondue is like watching a cricket match. Like, it just keeps going. I don't know. It's just it's a lot. You got to cut all the. It's worth it though. It's something that's bigger than the meal. It's about conversation and connecting with your peoples. And I think that that's a little bit more organic than what you get at dinner, when you're kind of, at least for me, shoving food in my mouth. You have to kind of let it cook for a little while. And in the meantime, you find out what's going on with your friends. So colleagues, I hope that you've seen that, like, for as much people say I'm changing, I think what what is happening is I am more open to things, and my girlfriend does and did things that I never would have, and I started doing those things with her, and I really started to enjoy them. And so it's changed me for the better. But I think a lot of people, as they get older, and I can only really speak for myself, you become more kind of cemented in your way of doing things. And I've tried to fight that and tried to just realize that the world changes and all these things that you thought that you didn't want, you're like, oh, I actually really like this. Oh, I never knew I'd like. My girlfriend was like, "Do you want to go to a college hockey game?" I was like, "Absolutely not." I went and had one of the best sporting experiences of my life. It's just like all these things. I just realized the older I get, the less I know, and there's a beauty to that. And I hope we take that uh, into this coming year. I'm excited. Tori and I are finally on solid ground in terms of what we're going to do with the show. And quite frankly, like, what was going on with our, former co hosts who we all still dearly love. But, people were kind of going in different directions. And I don't think that they had probably all fully thought out like what their next move was going to be. So it kind of left us in limbo. But now it seems like, all the former DBL colleagues have like made their decisions, and I'm happy for them, and I wish them well, and I see them like thriving in their own niche or niche. I don't know, but talking about the things that they want to talk about. I think Tori and I are just two dorks that actually like to talk about the news and discuss it and throw our opinions in there. And also, I think it helps that we don't mind being wrong because we're wrong a lot, mostly Tori, not me. So when you guys get a chance, and I hope you still do follow, Erica and Sam and all the DBL crew, give them a shout out and support them as well. And who knows, maybe we'll all catch up sometime down the road. It didn't, all these bands, the Eagles broke up, ABBA broke up, New Edition broke up, and they all got back together, mostly for money reasons, but that doesn't matter. They got back together. So who knows? I wouldn't close the book on DBL just yet. At least, well, you can close the book on that version, but who knows? Maybe we'll emerge in some years tighter than ever. So with that said, Sar, and thank you, Shelly. You said that we make a great team. It's so interesting. I think Tori and I, I remember in grad school, you learn about phenotype and genotype. And your genotype is obviously your DNA, what's inside of you, what you're going to look like. And your phenotype is what you actually end up looking like. That's how you present to the world as a brunette with blue eyes, or you're 6'5", all those things. And for as much as Tori and I's phenotypes could not be different, we look very different on the outside. We're very similar on the inside in terms of like not only the fact that both of our dads were attorneys, but just that we like to mix it up. We like to make fun of each other, and we don't take things personally. We actually kind of, I still have been laughing. I hope I can tell the story, but my girlfriend, she had gift certificates to. Why are you looking at me like this? You're like leaning over. When we went to, she had gift certificates to a great steakhouse here in Denver, and so we invited Tori and a friend, and we were all going to do that before we went to a Rockies game. And Dum Al, I didn't understand how gift certificates worked. Like if you got money back, like did they just keep the difference? And I was very concerned about that, which shows what a dirtbag I am. And the woman brought back the black book with the gift cards in it. And Tori like looks at me lovingly and goes, "See, Al, they brought it back." And it was so insulting and hurtful and funny. I was like, I will love this woman for the rest of my life. I like people that take shots at me and don't mind if I take shots back because we know it's all love there. And Tori is one of those. So I hope you guys will slowly start to notice we are on Apple Podcasts now. That will be fully updated definitely by the end of the holiday weekend. All the thumbnails on the YouTube, I have gone through and made personal thumbnails for all those. So please follow us at Friends from Work with Al and Tori if you don't already. We are getting this shit together. It's just, I wouldn't even say I'm a one-man band because my girlfriend will lean and stare at me again. But it's a bunch of us over here just showing love. And that's why I just think something special is going to happen with the show. I'm being straight up with y'all. This show had a million chances to kind of fade away, and it didn't. We're still here. And Michael Dean is here. And I'm like, I don't know why. He's here. And I think it's because Shelly says she gets me. Yeah, she does. And I get her. And we both know when it's time for a little tough love or when it's time for a little like love. And, I think that's why we get along so well. But yeah, like I said, Michael Dean is still here because I think he sees something special. And you guys keep showing up every day. And that means so damn much. And that's why I was determined to do this show today. You could see the panic because if my girlfriend wasn't leaning over, I'm just like, it's not on. That's how I think you turn computers on. I think you just yell, it's not on, and then it magically will. She was like, how about go to create live stream? And see, learning little things at a time. But I keep telling myself, where are we going to be in a year? This show is already starting to move very smoothly. Clips are coming out quicker and quicker, and I'm starting to understand this technology as it relates to the world of video broadcast. So I say all that to say I appreciate y'all hanging with us, and I want to know, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? And I'm not asking that as a question to fill time. I'm asking that in terms of if there's anybody in the chat that's planning to maybe spend it alone. Maybe you can link up with somebody else in the chat and maybe you guys can FaceTime and just talk. I don't give a shit how, unless you enjoy the solitude, which I kind of do sometimes. But if you find somebody that is going to be eating Thanksgiving dinner alone, colleagues, find them, set up the iPad and y'all FaceTime and you figure out a menu and like have dinner together. Like, let's figure out, because I will say this, the one thing that the people that have bad intentions for the society are infinitely better than us at is finding each other. You always notice, like, whenever I'm watching a movie and there's like a syndicate of bad guys and they're like, we're going to take over the city, and they do it. I'm like, how'd you find all them dudes? Like, isn't it hard to be like one good friend? How are you going to meet like 5 guys where you're like, we're going to go after the mayor, and they're like, cool. Like, but bad guys find other bad guys, but good folks, it's harder for us. And I think it's because we don't have like any radicalizing ideas that, like, if I started a thread that said, take one that's already existed, like birds aren't real. Yes, guys, think about that this Thanksgiving. There's millions of Americans, some of which I'm sure you probably know, that don't think birds are real. But that's kind of an out there conspiracy theory. So the people that have that will easily locate the other psychos that think that birds aren't real. And so we need to find our birds aren't real. We need to have a rallying call so that we don't have a bunch of good folks not realizing that there's a bunch of us out here that got love for you, will show up for you in any way, shape, or form that we can. And I'll say this to anybody throughout this whole this year. I'm sure I've said some things that were, that you liked, and some things that were on the line, or you're like, I didn't care for that. I do apologize. I just I want you guys to know that everything I say, I try and speak from the heart about. And sometimes speaking from the heart isn't that great. You need to be speaking from the brain as well. So I recognize that I'm fallible, not in relationships, but on the podcast, I've been known. I think if you guys would just see every comment I make, I just see like half of my girl's face come from behind the monitor, which just means that she noted and clocked that. So before we move on, I just want to say, guys, if you find any colleagues out there that may be spending this holiday alone and would prefer not to, connect with them and figure out a way to make it happen, and take some screenshots, and those will be posted. All right. Before we get out of here, let's
do some Thanksgiving unpopular opinions.
Yes, let's do some Thanksgiving unpopular opinions. And while my girlfriend is doing that, I don't know did you have any, or were you just suggesting that we do have those? Yeah. I'm messing with you, baby. All right, give me the first one.
Stuffing is the real star, not the bird.
Stuffing is the real star, not the bird. I'm gonna look. No disrespect to stuffing. Stuffing is important. Stuffing, I don't know, some of y'all, I'm sure, put the stuffing in the turkey, let it absorb some of those juices. Some people, the stuffing is on the side, and the side can be a featured guest. But there's the talk show host, there's Johnny Carson, there's Jimmy Kimmel, there's Dave Letterman, and then there's the first guest closest to them on the couch. And that guest can be important. That guest could be Tom Cruise. But Tom Cruise ain't Dave Letterman. Tom Cruise ain't Arsenio Hall. Tom Cruise is not Jimmy Fallon. The turkey is the most important thing, unless we're going with an all veggie Thanksgiving. And even then, I'd be like, well, if we're going all veggie, then sweet potatoes, shut up. We're doing sweet potatoes, I think should definitely make it. Or I could see a world in which somebody knows how to whip up an incredible green bean casserole. I could definitely see that happening too. But stuffing, I'm sure it's very good and it has its place. It's a key ingredient, but it cannot be number one. And if somebody does have a number one stuffing, I'm down to try it. Do you think I'm not down to be wrong with food stuffed in my jaws? I'm totally down for that. Sorry, baby. What else you got for us?
Leftovers are better than the actual meal.
Leftovers are better than the actual meal. Okay. Your initial instinct is to say that's ridiculous. And it depends on what you're doing with these leftovers. Because I think that some people can take or leave turkey. I think that there's some people that can take and leave stuffing or whatever. But I think what is very underestimated is what the leftovers can turn into, because you can make an incredible soup out of, like, you get the broth from the turkey, you drain that, you keep that broth, then you make some turkey soup with some veggies. I could see that being better than the actual meal. I could also see the next day after Thanksgiving getting some sourdough bread, shut up, and make some incredible turkey sandwiches. You take that turkey, slice it even more thin, get a cheese that you like, butter both sides, because it's the holidays and calories don't count on your body during holidays. You guys already know that. And I could see you making a turkey sandwich that is life altering. So I will give a slight head nod to that. But you have to be one of those people that really knows how to look at food that looks like it's amazing and been like, no, we just need to rearrange this. We're looking at 3 potential new meals here. So that's where I'm going to land on that one. Sorry, baby. What else you got? Shout out to turkey sandwiches, Slapshot. They're so good. And you know what it is with the turkey sandwiches is I like turkey, but it's on the fork, and it's just when you take a bite, you're like, oh, that's really sweet, delicious, whatever. But a turkey sandwich, you can make it your way. Do you like a lot of lettuce? You like a lot of mayo? Do you like your own kind of Dijon spread on there? You want to put some bacon on there? I'm not your dad. Do whatever you want. That's what turkey sandwiches give us. They give us freedom in this world to take that turkey and hook it up any way that you want. So shout out to the turkey sandwiches. And I think with that little rant right there, I think we're going to go ahead and say, yeah.
We pretend to like family games, but secretly dread them.
We pretend to like family games, but secretly dread them. I could see that. The only issue is my girlfriend and I love a lot of the same board games. I was out on board games for a while, but then we started playing Scrabble against each other, the same way that 2 inmates that were locked in a room with only one bed would go at it in Scrabble. Like, no talking, quiet. There's a lot of angst. And I'll be honest, like, when she said that she had never lost at Scrabble, did I take that personally? Yeah, I did. When she said that, did I feel like she was taking a direct shot at my upbringing, Dr. Jackie McLemore, her offspring? You think you're just going to talk crazy to Dr. Jackie Mack's son? You're not. And when I won a few Scrabble games, colleagues, you guys are acting like I would be so juvenile as to take video while we were playing, and as my victory was wrapping up, make it into a victory video, because that would be ridiculous. Oh, wait a second, I did that. I'm immature when I win. I gloat. I'm unlikable. But maybe that's part of it. You know, maybe you incentivize your partner to like try a little harder because you're going up against the Scrabble equivalent of the Rock. All right, and she's gonna kick my ass the next time we play Scrabble. I actually do like playing some games. I don't like playing Monopoly. Can I just say that right off the bat? It just I don't know when does it. I've never this. I'm down with Uno, down with dominoes. I'm not good at poker. I'll play that. Scrabble. What's up? Pictionary. I'll even do that. I don't know when Monopoly ends. I don't have that kind of time. I do this podcast. I travel. I'm in Dallas this weekend. I don't have time to play a game that ends when nobody has anything. We get it. Capitalism destroys all, but I don't have time to like explore that to its end. So I don't know. I think Monopoly needs to have like an abbreviated version. I kind of like Uno because it's like it's quick. You know, I just don't like a game that kind of never ends. So the only game that I might be not down with is Monopoly. And maybe we'll do this. I've never played Risk. I feel like that takes forever too. Anytime you see something that's like based on World War II, you're like, oh, this is a night and an afternoon. So I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like card games and board games, I don't know. I don't really dislike them that bad, you know? So let's leave it at that. Sorry, give us two more.
Going around the table saying what you're thankful for is awkward.
Going around the table saying what you're thankful for is awkward. I'm going to say yes. It is. And it's not because you are saying something that you don't believe. I think what we're all weighing is the fact that there might be something that's obvious and you didn't say it. And then so you say something like, I'm really thankful for that. My family all flew in, even though it was a terrible snowstorm. You guys all made it. I'm glad you guys all made it here to Cincinnati. That means a lot to me. And then at the end of Thanksgiving, somebody's like, oh, you didn't care that my last cancer screening came back completely clear. And you're like, oh, I forgot about that. And it's like, oh, you forgot. Like, I'm always worried that I'm going to miss the elephant in the room thing I should be thankful for, because I tend to go towards not the generic, but just like what's at top of mind right then. So it's a lot of pressure, and I don't like pressure right before I have a meal. So, but that's about it. That's about it. And then sometimes you might have a family member that doesn't see the light, the wrap it up light, and some family members see it as really their literal soapbox that they're standing on in front of the bus stop. And let me tell you another thing. This administration, you're like, oh, Jesus, Unc, please, we get it. You're not a fan, but we don't have this kind of time. Food's getting cold. All right, Tor. Sorry, let's do one more, and then we're going to get up out of here. Colleagues, I can't believe y'all showed up and showed love like this. I appreciate y'all.
Football on Thanksgiving is background noise.
Football on Thanksgiving. Oh, we didn't get a prediction from Tory.
You're going to have to do it.
Yes, I'm going to have to do it. And sorry, can you give me the games really quickly? Football used to be background noise because it always used to be the Detroit Lions, and they sucked for most of all of our adult lifetimes, but they got really good. Dallas, who started the season really bad, started playing really well. And so this is really, and I was talking to a good friend of mine who we always talk football. I was like, this is like the first year where people are going to be hurrying through Thanksgiving because the Thanksgiving games actually mean something. And then I feel like they originally picked Detroit because it, Motor City and, where all the cars came from, and it kind of represented Americana, same with Dallas. But now, these teams messed around and got good. So I'm excited. I know we got some Cowboys fans in the chat. I know, and Kiabu, you're a Cowboys fan, just like my girl Sar is. And I had to talk her off of a ledge because I always she's like, we're not that good. I've been like, y'all are good. As a Browns fan, I just look and I can like be honest, and like the Cowboys and the Chiefs should be a great game. And and does anybody wait? Okay, sweet Luna. You got to tell us what Mexican bingo is, because that sounds more fun than any game that I've ever suggested. Mexican bingo, yeah. That sounds like something that would be read at a divorce hearing, like the estranged husband met a woman and they played Mexican bingo.
Okay. Packers at Lions, Detroit -3.
Okay, Packers at Lions, Detroit -3. I'm going to say Packers going. I'm going to say Detroit at home. They got Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that I'm not ending the show, Shelly, until we find out what Mexican bingo is. I'm going to say that the Detroit Lions are going to actually mess around and lose to the Packers tomorrow. Detroit is now kind of reliant on one player. He's amazing, Jahmyr Gibbs, but he got a lot of carries last week, and human beings, they just can't keep with that workload. I think a lot of us have dealt with that at work. You can't overload us week after week. After a while, you just go to failure, and then what do you have? So I think the Detroit Lions, I feel like they finally kind of run out of luck just leaning on one guy, and I'm going to say that the Packers are going to beat the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Final score 30-24. All right, sorry. And what's the Cowboys game?
Chiefs at Cowboys, Kansas City -3.
Okay, Chiefs at Cowboys, Kansas City -3. Now, this is a tough one because I sleep in the bed and I love somebody who's a diehard Cowboys fan. And two of my closest friends are diehard Chiefs fans. We actually went to a Chiefs game this year with them and have for a bunch of years now. I am going to say, after the Cowboys had such a big victory last week, I'm always about human emotion. And it's hard. It's like when you're being a comic, this is not the same, but kind of the same because you are entertaining people. I started making sure that I mentally prepared myself to meet the 10 o'clock show with the same energy as the 8 o'clock show, because energy, my friends, is finite. And once you just had a great 8 o'clock show ends at 9:30. Thank you. Good night. Had a good time. And then you see the wait staff turning the tables over and you're like, oh, we got to do it again. I wonder if that's what's going to happen with the Cowboys. They had such a great come from behind weekend. Yeah, they had such a great come from behind victory that emotionally, I wonder if they're spent. So I am going to say, even at the risk of my own physical health, I think that the Chiefs come in. Well, they had a tough game too. Wow, this is a tough one.
On a short week.
Okay, just so I can get lots of loving and kissing right after this is over, I'm going to say the Cowboys in a squeaker, 25-24. Weird football score. I think there's going to be a 2-point conversion that does not work, and I'm going to say that the Cowboys steal it because they just got this weird momentum thing. Dak, he's on the Sleep Number bed commercials. He's going to be well rested. He's going to be at home on Thanksgiving. I think he's such a winner. So is Patrick Mahomes. That's why this is so hard. I'm not a fan of either of these two teams, and I love them both because I like teams that got balls, that they don't fold. And so I'm going to say, just given the home field advantage, I'm going to say the Cowboys steal one and win the money line 25-24. Did we find out what Mexican bingo is? We did not. Okay. All right. Is there a different set of cards, sir?
I can't tell. I'll look it up. Tell us
All right.
about the Bengals at the Ravens.
Okay.
Baltimore -7. Joe Burrow is back.
Okay. The Bengals have their star quarterback, Joe Burrow, coming back, and I think that's going to be enough to beat the hated Ravens. When I say hated, they're Ravens. I'm a Browns fan. We don't do them at all. So I think Cincinnati takes this one rather easily, and we're going to go with the score of 20-6. Yeah, I think the Ravens are about done, and they're going to be the last to know about it. So with that said, colleagues, the day before Thanksgiving, please take lots of pictures, and I will have and I'll tell you what, email them to the email address, and we'll put those up first thing on Monday, and we'll definitely have some photos from Michael Dean and from Tory and her Thanksgiving, and of course mine as well. Colleagues, I hope you guys know how much I mean this when I say I love y'all. I appreciate you guys riding with us. And even when we're not on, I hope that you guys talk to each other, check in with each other. And like I said, if there's a colleague that isn't having dinner, take this, set it up on a little camera and be like, yo, what's up, girl? Talk to us. What you doing? After a while, it'll be so normal. So yeah, nobody should be dining alone unless you choose to. And with that said, on behalf of Tory Shulman, Michael Dean, brother Mike, Jerry, who is family, and my girlfriend Sarah, we wish you guys nothing but a super happy and super relaxing and filling Thanksgiving weekend. All right, love y'all.